Like there was 2 people ahead of me, and like they could have went each like 3 times, but for some reason they were just not about it. So the next time the next person got up, like you know how there's 2 rows, right? So like if there's somebody in the far right lane, you can go, but like your average person is afraid to go. You know what I mean? Like on that. So I just went around the dude like Tokyo Drift style. I went around Dominic Toretto'd him, and I just went into my development. But then when I get into the development, there's like 2 people crossing. Like, where are you guys going? Everybody's in my way. I get to my house. I drop my keys like 2 or 3 times. Like a little shimmy shake. Cats are in my way. Almost launched one, but we made it.
I'm surprised you didn't shit yourself.
Santa ain't the only one hoeing out here. Oh, that's how it goes. Is that how it goes? Is that how it goes?
I don't know, but you sold it.
All right. Week 12 in the Always Sunday football podcast. Is it already week 12? That's crazy. I'm Dave. Joining me as always is Anthony. How's it going?
Great. I feel great.
You look like you're in some sort of recovery with all that stuff back there.
Yeah.
You look constipated.
I'll tell you what, John. I am surely not constipated. But yes, this is a small resemblance of my year and what it's been like and how my team is. And it's broken.
The only trophy you're going to have.
Yeah, guys, you want to sign this?
Yeah, get a cast. We'll all sign that. That'll be your cast. John, how you doing, man?
Well, I'm going to quote the great Lou Gehrig. I'm the luckiest man alive.
At least the past 2 weeks.
That Lou Gehrig just turned over in his grave. That was a poor quoting of Lou Gehrig. He said, "Today I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth."
Yes.
Well, he didn't want to use the whole thing.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth. Earth. Yep. So there you go.
Look around.
Get it together. It was a fun week 11. There was definitely some major goings on in our fantasy football league. Jonny and I still sit atop of our divisions. We have perhaps the game of the year coming up next week. Johnny's going to give us the rundown on all of that. But first, let's take a look back. Last week, we had some pretty gross bets. John, you went 1 for 3. You went 1 and 2. You were correct on the Lions money line. Okay, the Lions beat the ever-loving piss out of the Giants. But the Bears lost and the Vikings lost. The Vikings got their shit pushed in. Jesus. We're going to talk about those Vikings. John, you're going to have to explain yourself about those Vikings who you were riding high on, because the whole world has turned upside down and everybody who was loving the Vikings is now killing the Vikings. I was also 1 for 3. I was correct on my Commanders -3. The Commanders beat the heck out of the Texans, but I was wrong in the Bears game. It went over just by a little bit, and the Bears lost just by a little bit. And Anthony, how did you do?
Not good at all. I went 0 for 3, sir. I went Moneyline Madness. You know me, gambling itch. Bears, Jets, and the Vikings. I mean, the Jets should have won that game, but that doesn't matter. The Vikings got mollywopped, as the kids used to say.
We got to do better. Thanks,
dude. Imagine we go the whole year and nobody goes 3 for 3. That's terrible. I've been going. You know what? No money line madness this week for me.
Well, don't do that. Don't do that. Because the thing is, you're going to not do it this week, and this is the week that you would have hit. The thing about it is the Bears. Okay, I had the Bears on the money line. If the Bears win that game, I felt like that Bears game. I felt so good about it, and then at the end, they just started putting up points. I was close. I only got one of them right, but I was goddamn close. Don't give up on yourself, Anthony. Stick with what you got. You know what I mean? Because what's going to happen is you're going to switch your stream, and you have to have a lot of losers before you get on a heater, and you're not going to get on a heater if you switch your strategy or just get on another loser. Oh my goodness. Guess what, guys?
Yes.
It is Thanksgiving week in the NFL. And you know what that means? We have 3 Thursday games to break down. That's right. So let's jump right into it. Johnny, Bills Lions, the first game, the first course of our Thanksgiving feast. The Lions are 10-point home dogs. The Bills have looked shitty, just bad. There's a 54-point line in this game. John, what do you like?
I like the under with this game.
Explain.
I'm going to take the under with this game, and I think that the Lions are going to cover.
Okay, so Lions and the under. Interesting, Anthony.
I agree. That's where I'm going. Lions have been they've won their last few, or was it 2 or 3 in a row, and
3 in a row.
Yeah, last 3 in a row. They are coming in hot, and Buffalo's been a little shaky, So I think they'll keep it. I think they'll keep it within 10 for sure. But I'll take the under here.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna go over, just because I like points, and why not? You guys both went under, and it's a high line. I think the Lions, they're starting to put it together, as you mentioned, 3 games in a row. The Bills have looked bad, but I think they're going to come out and they're going to come out firing. I think the Bills have like a 30-plus implied point total themselves, so they should just completely wreck shop. I'm going to take the Bill. No, you know what? I'll take the Lions with you guys and take those points. But I'm going to go over. I'm going to say this game is just like a point fest. The next game, it could go fewer points and then even fewer points. At least that's what Vegas thinks is going to happen. At 4:30, those Giants meet the Cowboys. Now the Cowboys just completely wiped the floor with Minnesota, and the Giants lost. They got smacked around by the Lions. Anthony, how you feeling about the second course in our Thanksgiving feast?
It looks like I'm going to try and save the food for around this game, okay? Because I don't want to watch the Giants get mollywopped by the Cowboys, okay?
Oh, so you'll be, spending a lot of time at the table, going in, checking on the game.
Yeah, the Giants have done all they could for as long as they could for somebody to really just be like, this is their game plan. Let's shut it down. Like, this is how they've been winning games. They've been just sticking it close and then winning it in the fourth. So if we just get too far away from them until the fourth quarter, they have no chance. And they've been able to keep most people close. But I mean, the way Dallas did to the Vikings, who as we've noted off air, who are a little sketch themselves, those Vikings, right?
I've noted it on air as well. I think since the beginning of the season, we've all kind of been going back and forth on the Vikings. The Vikings has been a team that we can't really agree on. John's been pro Vikings. I've been anti Vikings, and you've been jumping back and forth a little bit.
I'm a neutral guy.
For being honest, you're not neutral. You were very, very pro Vikings at the beginning of the season, and now you're sort of feeling very like anti Vikings and acting like you were never pro Vikings. But John remembers, I remember, and Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Yeah, you actually picked them to win the division with me.
Did I?
Yes, you did.
You were big on the Vikings at the beginning of the season. Yeah, go back and check the tapes.
Mm-hmm. Write this down.
We got receipts.
We do have receipts.
Yeah, like the commercial. John just drops the red flag.
Yeah, exactly. And we can go to the video and everything. Yeah, it's on YouTube. You can go check it out. It's the YouTube channel, the league YouTube channel. And at the beginning of the season, you were a big Vikings guy. You and Johnny were both big Vikings guys, and I was like, nah. And then as we proceeded through the season, you guys were big Vikings guys, and I was like, nah. And at some point, Anthony, you kind of flipped, and it was cool. And I didn't say anything about it, and John didn't say anything about it, because John's just too kind. He's just too much of a sweetheart. And me, I like to wait till a point like this where I can spring the trap and really just like catch you with your pants down on Thanksgiving, because we get to talk about the Vikings next. But yeah, they got their complete asses split open, and they're not looking too hot right now. Who you got in this Giants-Cowboys game before we get too far off?
Yeah, I'm gonna take the 9.5 for the Giants in this game. I'll take the cover. I'm going to go with the under this game. Usually division rivals, Cowboys, Giants. I'm going to go with history. And number one, I think that what happened with the Giants last week was they just had a bad game. It's an underlier. And the Cowboys offense, this is their first game that they finally jump-started their offense and really started kicking it off. I think that the Giants coaching staff is a little bit better than what people think. They'll have a good game plan against the Cowboys defense. I think this is going to be more of a defensive battle. So I'm going to go with the under in this game.
Anthony, did you actually pick this game?
I didn't. We got so off because you like to dig at me. There's
I wasn't digging at you. I was merely pointing out facts. And John, was I wrong or inaccurate in anything that I said there?
No, while he drinks that coffee.
No, I as much as I would even, for everybody at home watching the Thanksgiving game, as much as I would love for it to be within 9.5, it's really not going to be hard to beat them, right? Like, they literally lost all receiving options. It's Darius Slayton and like Rick James, who's dropped. He had 2 fumbles 2 weeks ago. Kenny Galladay dropped. It doesn't even matter what his name is. I'm Rick James, bitch. And Kenny Galladay drops 2 passes. Like there's nothing, and all it's going to be is okay. Stop Daniel Jones and Saquon from running. They're gonna beat him by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah,
by Anthony. Terrible attitude.
Yeah,
they're just gonna run all over him.
Terrible attitude.
I agree with you, John. I do think it's a bad attitude out of Anthony. I think that he's just a little bit salty right now. The Cowboys are going to absolutely smoke the Giants in this game. I just hope that the Giants don't get their pants pulled down too badly and spanked too badly on national television.
I'm salty if I said it.
What's that? No, we're not saying that you're salty because of what you said. We're saying you're just salty because the Giants actually stink.
Oh,
no, I'm just kidding. They don't stink. But it's just that they lost a game they should have won last week, and they're going to lose a game that they should have lost this week. Like, this week was the loser. They should have come into this week with a win and then been like, oh, well, we dropped it against the Giants. They were at home. It's Thanksgiving. Let me go have my, pumpkin pie and whatever. But instead, you'll be in a 2-game slide right now, and you'll be asking all kinds of questions about your team. And that's not where you want to be on Black Friday, holding the purse, just staring into the mirror, into the oblivion, being like, Daniel Jones just isn't the guy. At night, 8:20, Thanksgiving, dessert, Patriots, Vikings. Vikings are at home, 2.5 point favorites with a 42.5 point line here. John, you first. Stick up for these Vikings if you can.
Yeah, I think last week they ran into a really good defense. Dallas's defense, I think, is ranked like top 3. It's been top 3 all season long. Michael Parsons, they just got smacked. They just got beat straight up by a pretty good defense. The Patriots defense this past couple of weeks has been really, really good. I think it's the strength of the team. But I think the Patriots are going to have a hard time scoring points like they normally do. I think the offense was more efficient against the Jets, but they just can't score points for some reason. They can get the ball up the field, but for some reason they miss field goals and they just don't know how to score touchdowns. I think Minnesota comes back and sets the ship right. Set it right. And they're going to pull this game off. So give me the points with the Vikings, and I'm going to go with the under.
Anthony?
This is one of my potential money line choices, but I'm twitching. Give me the Patriots with those 2.5 points and those shaky Vikings. I'll take the under.
I will go over 42.5 if the Vikings are going to prove a point, this is the time to prove it. This is a get right spot. I don't love Kirk Cousins against this Bill Belichick defense, so it could turn into a complete shit show. So I'm going to take the Patriots and the points. I think the Patriots might win this game outright, but I will take the over as well because the Patriots are going to score. The Vikings are going to score. It'll be 25-23, something in that range, somewhere in that range.
All right. So for Thursday night, I got a little plus 685. We got Dallas laying the points, Detroit getting 10, Patriots money line.
Yeah, if there's something you like, take it now because
Yeah,
I
so
kind
I'm
of
going to take the points with
frozen out.
Detroit. I'm going to go with the under with the Giants, Dallas, and I'm going to take the points with Minnesota. I have a feeling I'm going to hit Thanksgiving.
Gobble, gobble, mother trucker.
I'm going to lay the points, the 10 points with the Buffalo Bills and say that they roll to a victory. I am going to take the New England Patriots on the money line against the Minnesota Vikings. And I am going to take the New York Giants, Dallas Cowboys over 45.5. That's plus 720. That's right. Now it's time to move on to Sunday. I hope you guys enjoyed your Thanksgiving holiday. This is 1 o'clock. Bengals, Titans. Titans are at home. 1.5 point home dogs. 42.5 point line. Titans playing well. Bengals, hot and cold, as the Bengals are. John, what do you think about this game?
Yeah, I think that I'm going to take the – man, this is going to be a tough one because this is a really, 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 really good game. But give me the under in this game.
Okay.
Give me the under in this game. I think that both these defenses are pretty good. It's going to be a little bit low scoring. This game is expected to be, fireworks. Tennessee looked really good. Cincinnati can put some points up on the board. But I think both of these teams are their defenses and teams and the coaching staffs are pretty good. But I'm going to go with the points with the Titans.
Okay. Yeah, I like the Titans and the points in this one as well. Over under, I don't really have a strong opinion on. I guess I'll take the over because that's more fun. Anthony, what about you?
Yeah, I agree. I'm gonna take the over, and I'm gonna give me the Tennessee money line.
Wow.
Ooh, I like it. Okay. I mean, with 1.5 points, it's
You know
fun.
what I mean?
May as well chase that money. I like it.
Henry's been running his thing. Your boy is out there catching balls. Your boy.
Treylon Burks.
Your boy.
What's his name? Which boy?
That's his name. That's the boy.
And then also Tannehill's looking pretty sharp in his returns. The last his two games, he threw for what 250 and then 300 plus.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, this is a game where he's gonna have to and
cooking it up.
your boy.
And they've been looking pretty strong. They're a team. They're not flashy. They're not really particularly fun to watch, frankly, but they win games. And that's just the way it goes.
Just
Vrabel, listen, whatever you like about him or don't like about him, Vrabel's one of the top 3 or 4 or 5 best head coaches in the NFL. He is fucking awesome. 1 o'clock, Broncos, Panthers. This is two of the opposite types of head coaches. Although you can't really say anything about Wilkes. He's just the interim because they already fired their shithead head coach. Broncos guy, not going to make it the full season. If he does, he's not going to make it to next season. Carolina Panthers, 2.5 point home dogs. Big announcement. Sam Darnold is going to start. So, adjust your ranks. 35 point over under in this game. 35 points. This is a disaster. I don't want this game to be real. John, is this game real?
It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. Sam Darnold being named a starter should not happen. But
And people are like, hey, great news.
yeah, it's terrible. But If I'm gonna take anybody, I'm gonna take the points with Carolina, and this is an under. Both these teams are gonna struggle to score, but give me the points with the Carolina Panthers.
Anthony?
Yeah, now that they make Darnold the guy, I don't know. Like, once they fire their head coach, right? They came out of a little, like sold everybody. They came out with a win or 2 wins actually. But Sam Darnold, shaky for me because they could have been in my Moneyline Madness contention. But I'm gonna go with the Broncos laying that 2.5. I think the defense is so good and win by a field goal. And on the under, which is so sad. Depressing, actually. Like, you should be ashamed of yourselves. 35.
Broncos in the under for me. I'll lay the points. Broncos in the under. This is a disaster. I won't watch it. I mean, I'll just check out the stats later. See, I may have a Cortland Sutton share or two playing, but I'll check out the score and the box score. Ravens, Jaguars. Jaguars are at home, 4-point dogs, 43.5-point line. The Ravens are looking strong. Jaguars, you never really know what you're going to get. Anthony, what do you think?
I like this one to be a little bit of Jaguars, I think, coming off the bye. And Baltimore had a little off game. So I think this game comes back and it's a shootout. This is one of the over games I like this week. Excuse me. And I'm going to take Baltimore laying that 4 and the over.
Love it. John?
I'm going to go with the over on this game, but give me the points with Jags. They keep this game close. I think Jacksonville getting healthy and Trevor Lawrence looked pretty good. And the Baltimore Ravens defense, especially that secondary, they give up a lot of yards. And there's sometimes when the pass rush is not there, they give up a lot of yardage and they give up a lot of points sometimes. So I'm going to lay the points with Jax, and I'm going to go with the over as well.
I like the over. To make all three of us, I'm going to definitely take the over here, and I will say that the Ravens are going to win this game. I'll lay the points, lay the 4 points there. Jacksonville, though, coming off the bye, I'm interested to see what they do, especially with Travis Etienne. He's been pretty awesome since they committed to him. And Lawrence, the thing is, I think Trevor Lawrence stinks. So we'll have to see if they've started to like rework the offense to put him in better positions, because when he's not hitting, he's missing badly. He reminds me of like a Ben Simmons, where he's like, oh, he's got all the tools, he's got all the physical tools, but this dude can't shoot a basket to save his life. And it's the same thing with like Trevor Lawrence, where he drops back to passing and you're like, oh, this guy looks great. And then he throws the ball and you're like, wow, that ball is a fucking laser beam. And then it goes into the first row, And so I don't know what we're looking at here, but he's very Ben Simmons to me. Falcons, Commanders. Commanders are at home, 4-point faves, 42-point line. Commanders have been looking pretty strong lately. Heineke is the answer, or maybe the answer is just anybody but Carson Wentz. John, your Commanders?
Yeah, I'm going to lay the points with Washington, and I'm going to go with the over on this game. I think that Washington puts up some points. I think Atlanta has to put up some points. Atlanta actually looked a little bit more they put a little bit more points up on the board. I think that they're going to use the run game. Washington's defense is not that great, especially with Chase Young not being there. And the defense
he's coming back.
But even with him coming back, I think that it's going to, he's not going to be – it takes a while for a guy to get used to playing shape and all that. So give me the points with Washington, but I'm going to go with the over. I think some points are going to be scored up in here.
Anthony?
I agree, though. I agree. I mean, they're going to try and use that monster of a man, Cordell Patterson, but there's only so much. I mean, Kyle Pitts just going out, but it doesn't really
matter.
But it's still a person you had to guard, though, right? It's still a person they had to put a body on. So it's just Drake London and Cordell Patterson. Give me. And Commander's been on fire with Heineke, I'll take. Give me them 4 points in the over here.
I will agree with you when the Commanders lay in the points there. I don't know about the over under. Like, I don't really have like a strong opinion on it for sure. I guess I could see a case for both. 42 is a low line, so give me the over. Texans, Dolphins, look at this line. Dolphins are 13.5-point favorites with a 46.5-point over under. John, Dolphins?
Yeah, I think they just did a quarterback change for Houston too. So
Did they?
yeah, they did a quarterback change. Davis Mills will not be starting.
Yeah, I saw that. Somebody else's Bills.
Who's it going to be?
I have absolutely no idea, but it can't be worse than Davis Mills. Jeez.
That's true. That's actually true. Dolphins are going to smash in this game. The question is, do they cover 13.5 points? Anthony, yes or no?
No.
John, yes or no?
No.
Does it go over 46.5? Yes or no, John?
Under.
Yeah, and Anthony?
Under, just because they're good. They have like a Houston defense. Running defense sucks. Miami's got those two backs. They'll just run it, clock chewed up, and win by 10. Low scoring game.
I'm going to say that the Dolphins do cover it, and I'm going to say under as well. But I'm going to say the Dolphins do cover, because if it's a new quarterback that we don't even know whose name is, they're not going to score barely any points, the Texans. And the Dolphins are going to score, say, high 20s, low 30s, and win by more than 2 touchdowns, but there's not going to be 46. So that's going to be my bet right there. I'm going to just make sure I mark that. Bears, Jets. Okay. Jets are at home, 4.5-point favorites. Justin Fields banged up. We don't know what the story is there. They're being very weird about it. It's like he's got a shoulder problem in his non-throwing shoulder, so he might play this week or he might be out for the season. We don't really know. So okay, that's pretty fair. John, I know you're pretty invested in Justin Fields right now. How shriveled is your PP right now?
Oh, it's terrible.
Has it receded inside of your body?
Yes, it's absolutely.
You have an innie.
It's not looking good right now for Justin Fields. Tomorrow we'll actually find out what the whole deal is, if he's, whatever.
If you really have anything to be thankful for or not.
Yeah. So, but with that being said, I'm going to lay the points with the Jets. The Jets right now, they couldn't score any points against the Patriots, but I think the Patriots defense is just really that good. But Zach Wilson just looked really bad. And if Zach Wilson is going to ever turn it around, or Mike White at this point.
Well, that's the biggest probably quarterback news in this game. Might be bigger than Justin Fields is the fact that the Jets will not more than likely not be starting Zach Wilson this game. It's either going to be Joe Flacco or Mike White. And with that team, they're better.
Yeah. So I think that if the Jets do bench Zach Wilson for Mike White, give me the Jets easily. The Jets defense is played absolutely lights out against the Patriots. They did not. They gave up 3 points. They made Mac Jones work for every single yard to put up 3 points, and the offense was clicking. It wasn't like it was too bad. So I think the Jets defense pulls it out. Chicago's defense is just awful. I've never seen a defense that just gives up points after points after points after points, and how Justin Fields has to pull shit out of his ass just to give his team a chance. So I'm going to lay the points with the Jets, and I'm going to go with the under.
Speaking of shit out of your ass, Anthony.
A rough day. See now, like if it was Zach Wilson and Justin Fields starting this game, no questions, right? I'd take Bears money line, but not the case here. I think Fields will play. It's his non-throwing shoulder. Maybe they hit him with some of that juice, and he plays. But the Jets are a better team with Joe Flacco. So I think they can lay that point down, especially if Fields is banged up. One more hit, But I'll take the Jets right here, and I'll keep it at the under.
I think that he's also dealing with a hamstring. This is Fields, and so they're they're going to talk about his shoulder and downplay the hamstring when the hamstring might be the real problem. If his mobility is limited at all, he's not the same quarterback. Give me the Jets laying 4.5 points, and give me the over here, because with a competent quarterback, the Jets offense, I'll bet you can score 20 points. I think that's possible for sure. 20, 24 points.
Joe Flacco's throwing like the beginning of the year, 500 plus yards a game in some games.
Right, but he was throwing 375 passes to get that 500 yards. But it doesn't matter. Stats are stats, baby.
He got him.
Tampa Bay. Look at this. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? 1:02 p.m.
Yeah, I was
Tampa
going to
Bay
question that.
Buccaneers.
That's 1:02 p.m. Like what?
I don't know. That must be some sort of like typo at DraftKings, because I looked at that must be some sort of a typo at DK, because I looked at another app and it was just straight up 1:00. Regardless, Browns are at home, 3-point dogs to the Bucks. I believe the Bucks are coming off a bye. 43.5 point over under. Anthony, your Buccaneers.
I know, now that it's being played at 102, it changes everything. See, like the Browns have been looking. They're coming all right. They're coming in.
I hear that Tom Brady's undefeated in 1:02 p.m. games.
His record is phenomenal, but same thing with the
0-0.
No, I give me the vet right here. Give me the man. Give me the Bucks laying those 3, and give me the over.
John, in their last game without Deshaun Watson, how do you feel about the Browns versus the Bucks?
Ooh, spicy.
Ooh, man, I'm happy actually that it is approaching that Deshaun Watson when he takes over this team. Man, if Watson was playing this game, I would have a total different feeling about this. I would be going money line Cleveland, but Jacoby Brissett hasn't been too bad. So with that being said, the Buccaneers, I think they are starting to click a little bit more, but that defense is still shaky. And Cleveland could put some points up on the board. So I'm going to take the points with Cleveland, and I'm going to go with the under in this game.
Nice. I thought you were setting me up to take the over there, but I respect it. It was like, the Browns can score points. The Buccaneers can score points. I'm taking the under. I will take the yeah, exactly. I'll take the over. Like, he had me totally jazzed up to take the over, so I'm still going to take the over. And I am going to take the Buccaneers and lay the 3 points and say that coming off the bye, they're like, listen, Tom Brady's like, listen, you motherfuckers. I didn't get divorced from Giselle and lose all my money in crypto for this fucking bullshit. So let's get it together.
Mike Evans.
He's like, listen, I need to start making more money doing this nonsense because all my other money is gone now. So let's get it together. I need Super Bowl rings because I need endorsements because she left me. I got nothing. But yeah, so that's what it is. Buccaneers over. Raiders, Seahawks. The Seahawks are at home, merely 3.5 point favorites. 47.5 point over under. I'm just going to say I'll take the Seahawks all day and lay that 3.5 points. John, who was very, very high on the Raiders at the beginning of the season. If we're talking about receipts, go ahead.
Yeah, I jumped off the Raiders bandwagon a very, very long time ago. I thought Josh McDaniels would do a little bit better as a coach. But last week they did put some points up on the board. So, but I am going to take Seattle with the points, but I'm going to go with the over. I think the Raiders maybe score a couple of points here. The Seahawks defense is okay. So I'm interested in going with the over here. I think the Seahawks are going to absolutely kill the Raiders, but I think the Raiders are going to score some points.
How about you, Anthony?
Mind blowing. Are you ready?
You better not be taking
Raiders.
Money line. Wow. This fucking guy.
Listen, hey, I think you pulled the where I don't know. I got that feeling in my jellies, No?
All these feelings.
I'm just saying, listen. I think Josh Jacobs is gonna have a good day and Devontae Adams is gonna have a good day and they're just gonna come out on top. That's it. It's just what it is, my opinion.
Clown shoes. Seahawks laying the points. I will take the under I would take the under. I don't have a strong opinion about it, but I'll take the under just because, again, I just think the Raiders are that bad. Chargers, Cards. Speaking of that bad, are both of these like who are these two teams really? Like the Chargers, the Cardinals. What are we really dealing with in either one of these teams? Because like the rosters are good and they're also not good, and the coaches are sometimes very, very bad, and sometimes you're like, wow, that's actually pretty impressive. And the Cardinals are better with Colt McCoy than they are with their franchise quarterback Kyler Murray, who it's just a disaster. It's just so crazy. None of it makes any sense. The Cardinals, home dogs, 4.5 points, 47-point over under. I'm going to just take the points with the Cardinals, and I'm going to take the over and get the hell out of the way. John?
Yeah, I'm going to take the points actually with the Chargers. The Chargers last game looked a little bit better with Josh Palmer, Keenan Allen. They'll have hopefully Gerald Everett back for my fantasy purposes. And Arizona's defense looked absolutely horrendous. Horrendous. They almost cost me this week's, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But Arizona's defense otherwise has been pretty good. So I'm going to lay the points with the Chargers, and I'm going to go with the under.
So you're exactly opposite me. I love it. Anthony?
If Colt McCoy starts, I take the Cardinals money line. But I'm going to take the Cardinals with those points. And I'll take the under here. The Chargers are, another one.
You're just down on the Chargers.
Yeah, no, maybe I'm biased, but but they have been, they lost some key players, and that always doesn't help for sure.
True. Yeah, they've suffered a bunch of injuries as you have, so yeah, I can understand that. Rams, Chiefs, 14.5-point home favorites with a 44-point over under. Boy, am I happy to have the Chiefs on my team this week. Oh my God, money line! Look at the Chiefs money line is minus 1150. This is Chiefs all day, right? Chiefs all day. But do they cover 14.5 points? I say yes. They do. Chiefs covering the 14.5, and I will take the under because at some point they'll be like, stop, they're already dead. No. Yeah, I'll take the under, but not by much. John?
Yeah, I'm going to take the points with the Rams. I just think why not at this point?
Well, because they're starting a quarterback that you've never heard of.
Yeah, I just feel like McVay will find a way to somehow, some way. I don't know. I think the Chiefs are going to absolutely kill them. But the backups, and we saw on Monday how weird games get and these blowouts, and maybe the Rams score like a touchdown or two.
Little backdoor cover action.
Yeah, something weird that's going to happen in the game. That's how I feel this game is. That's why I'm going to take the points with the Rams because, Patrick Mahomes might not even play the whole fourth quarter with that kind of game. And I'm going to go with the under in this game because I just think it's going to be a weird game.
Fair. Anthony?
Yeah, I'm going to take the Chiefs laying the points, and I'll go with the over. I think the Chiefs are going to score enough on themselves, and the Rams are going to score a little bit just by, having to, needing to.
Right on. Yeah, that over under. I could see it going over for sure. Saints, Niners, 9.5-point home favorites. Niners starting to round into form. 43-point over under. Anthony, Niners, Saints. Where do you stand?
Saints have been wishy-washy, I'd say. Niners have just been coming to themselves ever since you get McCaffrey, kind of like just been clicking even better, right? You have a monster like that. Defense is great too. So that's what's sketchy, right? When they give you those spreads like 9.5 and then a low over under 43. But I'll take the Niners laying the 9.5 and the over.
Johnny?
Yeah, I'm gonna actually take the points with the Saints. The Saints defense keeps this somewhat of a game. The Saints defense is actually more talented than what people think. In my opinion, I think that the Saints keep this somewhat close. The offense for the also the Saints has improved a little bit. So I'm going to lay the points with the Saints. They keep it somewhat of a little bit close, but I'm going to go with the under in this game.
I am going to take the Niners and lay the points. I think the Niners are going to smash and give me the over. Niners are very, very good. It's going to be Niners, Eagles in the NFC Championship game. Packers, Eagles, speaking of the Eagles, on Sunday night.
Wait, Dave, real quick. You were, as we check the records, calling the Eagles to the Super Bowl. Now, with all these moves and what we know and seen this season, do you still believe if that game comes to fruition, it's Niners, Eagles, who wins that game?
The Eagles.
Still there, huh?
He's
Well, because
winning.
Jimmy G is the quarterback of the Niners still. That's
fair.
still the answer. He's the reason why. He's always been the reason why they haven't won. It's Jimmy G, because he's good enough to win games in the regular season, but he's not going to get it done for you in the postseason. And I just feel like, Jalen Hurts is a difference-making quarterback. Jimmy G isn't. But the funny thing is, I do have futures on both of the teams to win the championship, both of those teams. So, but I think I make more money if the Eagles win. Eagles are hosting the Packers. They're 7-point favorites, 46-point over/under. I think that this is. I hope this is going to be a good game. I hope we get good Packers, not shitty, bad Packers. John, which are we going to get?
Yeah, the Packers offense has kind of been putting some points up on the board. Aaron Rodgers has finally scored over 20 fantasy points and actually statistically started throwing we're starting to see like regular numbers for the first, time in 2 weeks. So I'm going to go with the over on this game, but I'm going to lay the points with the Eagles. It's going to be a little too much for them.
Anthony?
I'll take the over. But I think like the Packers have been just clicking a little bit, right? Christian Watson's been coming to his own, and you still got your Aaron Jones animal. So I'm gonna take the Packers getting those 7, keeping it close, and keeping it a good Sunday night game as they should.
Yeah, I agree. I'm gonna take the Packers with the points there, and I'm just gonna take the over because I want the over badly. I want a close game, and I want it to go over 48 points, and I want Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown to go bonkers, and Aaron Jones to have a great game, because boy, oh boy, do I have a matchup this week. And it couldn't come at a better time because there's no buys this week because of because of Thanksgiving, where everybody in the league is at full power. So Johnny's game is going to be enormous.
Well, not everybody.
Monday night, Steelers Colts. Colts are the home team. This is not going to be a very fun game to watch. Steelers are 2.5-point underdogs on the road, and it's a 39-point over/under. It's kind of gross. Anthony, tell me something good about this game.
Nothing great, but Steelers had a little game together, right? Najee Harris has been putting in that work the past 2 weeks. I'm gonna take my third and final Moneyline Madness here with the Steelers on Monday night, and I'm just not making it fun at all, because Sunday night's game was so amazing. It stole some of Monday night's juice, and I'll take the under.
Nice. What about you, John?
Yeah, I think the Steelers keep it close. I'm going to take the points with the Steelers, but I'm going to go with the under this game.
I'll take the over, and I will lay the 2.5 with the Colts. Thank you very much. But it's not going to be a fun game to watch. It's going to be gross. Who's ready to drop their 3-pick
Ready.
parlay?
I'm ready. I'm going to take the over for the Jacks, Baltimore. All right. I'm going to take the points with Washington. And I'm going to go with the under with the Bears, Jets.
Got it. So that's going to be plus 595 for a modest 695 payout.
You know me, boy. Money line madness. Okay, guys, it's going to hit one time. Tennessee, Steelers, and the upset of the week, the Raiders.
Ooh. Tennessee, Steelers, Raiders. Yeah, that's Raiders aren't going to win.
That's a plus 1124.
Jets minus 4.5. Commanders minus 4. Titans money line
Scared the shit out of me.
plus 665. Let's ride. Yeah, see, I have $10 on the Niners to win the Super Bowl to win $150. I have $15 on the Eagles to win the Super Bowl to win $390. So if the Eagles do play the Niners in the championship game, I will be pleased, but I would prefer the Eagles to win that game. And I do think that they would win that game. But I couldn't be surprised if they didn't. You know what I mean? Let's take a look back at our 3-person DK DFS contest from last week. I think I'm on a 2-week losing streak, and it wasn't good. I think I've scored very, very poor double digits the last 2 weeks. Yes, in third place, 79.44 points. The only player I had who was reasonable was Dak Prescott. Jonathan Taylor, I guess, was meh. But for the most part, 79 points in a DFS lineup is a joke. Unfortunately, John scored 79.62 points. He had Justin Fields. He beat me by, 0.18 points or whatever it was. And he had Justin Fields and a bunch of nobodies. And then Anthony came in first, 127 points. He had Daniel Jones and Chris Olave, who both had great games. David Montgomery had a good game. And that's pretty much all it took. He beat our pants off. And there you go. Congratulations, Felly. Week 11 in the Always Sunday Football League was fantastic. It was mostly low scoring, but just scoring was down across fantasy football. We had one very high scoring contest. And as it often happens, the second highest scoring team lost to the first highest scoring team. And we had some big upsets, some teams that we do not expect to win, some very low ranked teams beating some better ranked teams. Interesting outcomes. Very interesting outcomes. This week, I'll just start it off. My hero for the week is the Golden Showers, the highest scoring team in the league, who beat the second highest scoring team. He scored 177 points. He has overtaken the scoring lead, the overall points championship, the overall points title. He now leads the league by somewhere in the area of, I want to say, 30 points, a little bit less than 30 points. Okay, he's in second place in the Baldwin division, and he sets up the game of the year with his win for next week. We'll talk about that in a minute. He got huge games out of, well, he didn't get huge games really out of anyway. Joe Burrow had 29 points, but what he did have was consistency straight across the board. Josh Jacobs, 22. Jamal Williams, 24. The defense, Washington defense, 24. And then 15 from St. Brown, 13 from Smith, 16 from Ayuk, 14 from Stevenson, 13 from Gibson. It's just points. Everybody except the tight end was in double digits. Solid performances all the way across the board, setting up the biggest game of the year next week. The Golden Showers, big win, and he needed to score a huge because his opponent, who is by all accounts not as good of a team, had a big week. He's the one who had a couple of explosion performances, and the Golden Showers were able to withstand that. The Golden Showers put out the fire, and for that, the Golden Showers are my hero.
My hero for this week is the Drunken Bums,
Ooh.
pushing his record to 6-5. And he ties with the Rogues and Blumpkin in the J-Chuck division. He was led by Josh Palmer with 32.6 points and George Kittle with a 24.6 points. Great job on a victory against a division rival. And we got a race in the J-Chuck division. We have 3 6-5 teams. It's getting real interesting. But a big question mark on starting Kyler Murray not being able to pick up any type of backup, not having insurances. So a little worried about the Bums, especially next week where he's facing also against somebody that actually pays attention. So we'll see if the Bums pays attention because this can cost him a playoff spot.
For sure. Anthony, who was your GOAT this week?
My GOAT, sir, was Team Blumpkin.
That's right, the other guy in the matchup.
Yeah.
So you're telling me. So what you're telling me is, go ahead.
Well, Team Blumpkin, needed a win here, right? To keep himself at the top, close to the top of his division, fighting with those guys there to try and secure that playoff spot. Goes against a man who starts at 0.
Yeah, Murray was
out.
Yeah, he was out, straight up out. He didn't start he didn't start your typical 0 where he put a guy in his lineup who didn't score any points. No, this guy was not even in uniform.
Yeah. Homeboy slacked up. He didn't score. He scored an okay 123. The Bums, but Blumpkin scoring just under a 105. With Josh Allen underperformed his normal performance. Kelsey was his only savior to break 100. To be honest, when you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players, including under 10 points in single digits, it's not what you want at this home stretch of the regular season. In a match where you were tied with this man, needed to win, you lost to a man who did 0. Yeah, you were my hero, so it was only fair that you were my GOAT. And this was actually my key matchup from last week.
Yeah. Yep. It was a huge matchup, and the Blumpkin blew it in a game that he absolutely needed to win.
The Blumpkin blew it. I see what you did there.
And another team that just completely just fell down in an area where they needed to come up big was the Sizzler, unfortunately. The Sizzler was at 5-5, right on the outside bubble, the playoff bubble, looking in, going up against Omar's team, the lowest ranked team in our league, last place. And this guy started at 0. This guy had a player in his lineup who went into the game, played, got 1 target. I believe he left with an injury, which is no surprise considering it's Kadarius Toney. Unfortunately, Mike Williams also left with injury. Okay. Unfortunately, Wan'Dale Robinson had his best game of his career, 9 catches for 100 yards, left with injury. And, week after week, the Sizzler just keeps doing something to these players.
Sizzling.
Obviously, it's too hot. It's too hot in the hot tub because these guys are just going down like they're just falling dead one after another after another. The Sizzler drops this game. Now, this is a game. Talk about a team that needed to win. Okay, this team needed to win to go to 6-5 and stay in that hunt because he's the 3rd lowest scoring team in the league. But he lost to the last place team. He got beat bad in a bad spot, and now nobody's back is against the wall in a worse way with 3 games left than the Sizzler. He's got no margin for error. He has to win out to make the playoffs. He lost this game that he absolutely needed to win because his next couple of games are going to be tough. And for that, he's my GOAT.
Yeah, my GOAT for the week, which had me sweating in Monday. I thought it was over for a second, and that's going to be the Rogues. He falls to 6-5.
Ooh.
And the backups killed him. Once the backups came in the 4th quarter, I did one of the whoo.
Yeah, you got
because it was by inches that he lost. And it's going to go down to that his flex. We talk about it. Managing your team. Elijah Moore is clearly the second behind Christian McCaffrey, and he could have started Damien Harris or Latavius Murray, either or, and they would have beaten PBJ this week. And for that, the Rogues is my GOAT of the week.
My hero is the other person in that matchup, your boy PBJ. in a divisional matchup right there, trying to creep up to the top, trying to keep that top. John wanted to have this win and to give himself good separation, try and clinch his division, get that first round bye. 2 weeks in a row, this team has won within, this is just under 2 points. Last week was it under a point? Two snuck by 2 wins, both of them probably because his boy, who he called in the beginning of the year he was going to have a good year. Got to give him that. It was Amari Cooper. John also started a negative in his defense and was still be able to and Pitt's going down, who actually had a little bit of action that game, and a low-scoring Saquon Barkley was able to pull through a very important win, and he is my hero.
4-game win streak.
Oh, yeah.
2 games up on the J-Chuck division, baby.
Looking ahead to week 12. Week 12 is a huge week. Okay. We have 2 enormous matchups. The first one I'll go ahead and talk about because we were just mentioning PBJ. Okay. PBJ can take a complete stranglehold over the J-Chuck division in his matchup against the Drunken Bums. PBJ comes in at 8-3 with a 2-game lead in the division. If he beats the Drunken Bums, he effectively takes the Bums out of contention for the division and thins out the race just a little bit. PBJ absolutely needs these wins. As of right now, he's got Fields on the bench and Trevor Lawrence in the game. That's some sort of weird reverse psychology thing that he's trying to do for himself so that if he puts Fields on the bench, then he'll be ruled into play. But Fields is going to be playing in this game, so that's just kind of foolish. Other than that, the big question mark is whether Kyler Murray is going to play. That's the real thing. And whether if Kyler Murray doesn't play, the Bums is actually going to replace him with a player who is playing. We don't know that. So John could end up walking to an easy win here because he's playing against a guy who really is just completely lost and doesn't know what he's doing right now. The Bums lucked into the win that he got last week, but it sets up a huge battle in the J-Chuck division. And if somebody's going to take down PBJ, they better do it soon because he can clinch with 2 more wins. So that's my key matchup. Anthony, what's your key matchup for the next week?
My key matchup is another group from PBJ's division here. The Blumpkin versus the Moth. Blumpkin just coming off that loss, that really, really bad performance. He's been for the past 4 weeks. He wins one, lose one, wins one, lose one. So he's two for two for the past 4 weeks. Moth coming off a win, I believe. This is gonna be a close one, and the Blumpkin has a 3-way tie in his division right now. So a win is very important for him to try and make sure he could get into the playoffs because you keep losing, you're out, fam.
Yeah, I mean it's just as simple as that, quite frankly. If you're 6-5 right now, you need to win. You need to win bad. John, what's your key matchup for this week? What's your key matchup for so far the year, arguably? Go for it.
No, this is the game so far. This matchup is going to be the best game of the whole entire season. Give it to me. It's going to be the 8-3 sweep the leg versus the 7-4, the Golden Showers. 2 of the top scoring teams in the league.
1 and 2.
It's going to be amazing. 1 and 2. So my question is, can the Golden Showers take first place in the Bowling division? I mean, this is huge right here. If he can pull off a win against Sweep the Leg, which has been holding on top for a couple of weeks now, that would be huge. But on the flip side of things, can Sweep the Leg take a 2-game lead over the Golden Showers and give himself a position to earn himself that first round bye that he's been working so hard for. So, and for that is my key matchup of the entire year so far as we have started the year. I can't wait. It's going to be a lot of fireworks. And best of luck to you, Sweet
Thank
Leg.
you.
Is Jamar Chase playing?
That's a good question. Right now, he's questionable. I don't think so. I don't expect him to play. It seems like it still might be a little bit ambitious. I think he was just on crutches like a week or two ago, so I'm not really too. I would be surprised if he plays, and if he does play, that puts Danny Mac in a worse spot than it puts me in, because he's gonna be like, well, do I play him? Do I not play him? Do I play him? You know, is he gonna be full strength? Whereas me, I'm just like, if he does play, there's no way he could be at full strength, and he would be more of like a decoy or on a snap count or something like that, where he can still hurt you on a snap count, but you're not giving me full Jamar Chase, so I would accept that. Yeah, no, his team is really, really stacked. He just took the points lead. He leads in points right now. I have one game in the standings. Hopefully there's no injuries, and hopefully this game shoots out, because
There won't be any injuries because it only happens on my team.
Well, you are hogging a lot of the injuries for sure. That's for sure. But he's dealing with DeAndre Swift. You know, it's not like he hasn't been touched at all by injuries. But you know, the nice thing about this matchup is that it's happening in a week where there are no buys. They took the week away from buys because of Thanksgiving, so we have full strength teams. So it should be good. It should be a good time. After this week, we'll be looking at a situation depending on what happens in the PBJ game. PBJ might be looking down the barrel of clinching the following game, and then if the Sweep the Leg wins against the Golden Showers, they'll be in a position to clinch. If the Golden Showers wins against Sweep the Leg, they'll be in a position to clinch. So the week 13 games are going to just be off the charts, and it's just going to be pretty exciting. But you know, we got to get there first, which means we got to eat a bunch of turkey, we got to watch a bunch of football, and then we got to watch a bunch more football. So I think we can handle it. What about you guys?
Yeah, for sure. I don't really want to talk about eating anything. So,
real quick, I just have one really important question. So, power rank your top 3. John, you go first. Power rank your top 3 Thanksgiving foods. Go.
Ooh, that's gonna be a tough one. I gotta go with the turkey.
Got it.
Gotta go with the stuffing.
Okay.
All right, and I'm gonna go with that green bean casserole.
All right. Anthony, what's your power rank?
Well, John picked 2 of mine. Green bean casserole was stuffing. Stuffing was always, one of my faves, and the good old sweet potatoes.
I see. That was going to be my number 1. The sweet potatoes with the mushrooms on. Not mushrooms, marshmallows. You're right. Sweet potatoes with the marshmallows on top. That's number 1.
Yeah, the brown sugar.
And then turkey is number 2 for me. But the turkey comes with gravy, or do I have to pick that separate?
Just turkey. No. Like turkey comes with gravy. Gravy or no gravy, it's ranked in there.
And then I'm gonna do corn. I like corn.
On the cob?
Whatever you're serving, I'll take some.
Just any kind of corn.
Yeah, is there corn? Could you pass the corn, please? Whatever you got, send it down. I'll enjoy it. I'll see you guys next week. Thanks. Have a happy Thanksgiving, and I'll see you next week where it's always Sunday.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Gobble, gobble, motherfucker.